Welcome back, everyone. Great to be here with you today on this Mindset and Motivation Monday on the Cabral Concept. Today, we're going to be talking about how to reverse engineer your ideal life. So one of my favorite things to do every 12 weeks is start to assess where am I this quarter, this year? How am I doing in terms of my family relationships, my spirituality, my health, body transformation, career, etc. I like to look at all those areas and just not grade myself harshly, but say, okay, what am I doing well in? What could I do better? How can I improve? But the last couple of weeks, I've really been sharing with you overall philosophies as to how to maximize your ideal life. None of us are going to be perfect. The nice thing is if we strive for it, but we know that we're not going to achieve perfection, that we can simply enjoy the process along the way while working to our best self. Now, again, even if we don't reach that best self, that absolute 100%, if we can get 90% of the ideal and 90% there, we're going to be able to enjoy our lives to a much greater degree because one part, we get the growth, right? So we're in a growth mindset. We see ourselves growing. We see ourselves moving towards a worthy ideal. It feels good. At the end of every day, we've accomplished something. But the other thing is that many of us know that we have more potential inside of ourselves, that we have more to give. We have more to be able to serve, and we have more to get out of life, right? There's nothing wrong with receiving, hopefully, as long as you're giving. And so one of the things that I like to look at, though, is that so many of us don't even know if we're on the right path. And the reason is that we are not trying to reverse engineer our ideal life. We're not able to do it because we don't start with the end in mind. So what we always want to do with any dream, visualization, goal, whatever it is to plan to the end, not just move in the general direction. So for example, okay, I want to go out for a sail today. Okay, well, where are you going to go? Like you're just head out into the water, no problem at all. But the wind's just going to take you wherever it wants to unless you have a plan, right? It's the same thing with life. Day gets started, you get this call, you get that. If you don't have a plan, you're just part of someone else's, right? Like that is the famous saying, and I love that. Unless you go out with a plan, you're just part of someone else's. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You don't have to plan everything in your life, but you should have a map, right? When you go out for that sail, what's your destination? What's the plan? I want to share with you a few examples now that I've seen from my practice that hopefully you can start to use in your own life to begin to understand how we plan for the future, plan for what we want, but then we work backwards. That's really what it's all about. So obviously what I do is I work in the health-based space. I've been doing that now for over 25 years, and it's what I love to do, without a doubt. I mean, I was doing it since I was in undergrad in college. And so for me, it's just about teaching. I've always loved to teach. In the beginning, it was always one-on-one, and then I started to write more and teach more, and then eventually videos, and then I got into podcasting, and of course, I've always worked one-on-one, and now teaching other practitioners, and that's amazing as well. But at the end of the day, I help clients hopefully achieve whatever their health goals are, whatever their outcome is. But if someone comes into the practice and say, well, I just want to feel better, you know, I can't work with that, and neither should you. What does feel better mean? Like, that's not an end goal. Feeling better is not an end goal. You need to be able to say, okay, here's what I want. I want to wake up in the morning and I don't want to be groggy. After I eat, I don't want to feel like my stomach's cramped and bloated and distended. Those are real symptoms that you want to overcome. That's what feeling better means. You want to be able to exercise without feeling exhausted. You want to be able to have your head hit the pillow and fall asleep within 15 minutes rather than tossing and turning all night. Okay, those are real health goals, right? And now we can work on that. So now with this client, what can we do? Okay, let's figure out why you're bloated. Let's find out. Is it yeast overgrowth? Is there bacterial overgrowth? Are there parasites, H. pylori, food sensitivities, food combining? Like what's going on? We'll figure that out. That's absolutely doable. We can figure that out within the first 3 to 4 weeks. Waking up groggy. Okay. Let's look at your adrenals. Let's look at your cortisol output. Let's look at your thyroid. Like what do those numbers look like? What about hormones such as testosterone? It matters as well. So we look at all those things and we start to work backwards, right? So we know what we want. We start with a goal and then we say, how do we get there? That's part of the plan. I've done many podcasts on that as well. Another one, what about a weight loss clients? People come in, they have weight loss goals all the time. I mean, that's a big part of the world that we live in, is that it's too easy to gain weight. It really is. It's like everything, just like health, everything is set up against us in order to be able to gain weight. All these tasty foods and the sedentary lifestyle that we can easily adopt. I get it. I totally understand. And so someone says, well, I want to lose weight. Well, again, it's not a goal. Weight loss is not a goal. It's fine. It's a big macro, but you need to give yourself a number if you're taking this seriously. You can't just put up on the visualization board, it's not called that, but the vision board, you can't just say weight loss, okay? Because it's a dream at that point. Like, it's just a dream. It's not a goal. It's just like, yeah, one day I would love that. Okay, well, what day? It's never going to come. It will never come unless we make a plan. So what's it going to be? Oh, I want to lose 37 pounds. Like, that's what I help a client to figure out, like, well, okay, how much do you weigh now? And here's a zone of what would be healthy, but we don't need to get to the bottom number, that's for sure, right? What's the last time you weighed at the top number of that? They say, oh, it's probably been like 12 years. Okay, then that's our first goal. Does that work for you? No, I want to be less than that. Okay, how much less? Another 5 pounds. Okay, then yeah, we'll do that. That's reasonable. All right, we know we need to pass the first one anyways to get to the second. So the goal ends up becoming 37 pounds. Great, that's a real goal. How are we going to achieve that goal? Well, we're going to make it more real, right? We're going to say the first month you're going to lose a lot of weight, right? You're going to do functional medicine detox. You're going to do MetaVolve. You're going to do phase 1. You're going to do all, you're going to do these things that work. And so let's just say the first month, depending on all the hormones, the metabolism is, you'll lose probably 10 to 20 pounds for the average person who wants to lose 37 pounds or more. Okay, let's just say it's 12 pounds, right? You lose a little bit more in the beginning. I've kind of gone through that before of how the weight loss phases work. Okay, so 12 pounds the first month. How much more do we have to go? 25 pounds. Okay, now we're going to say we're going to average about 2 pounds a week. You can be even more conservative if you want. You could do it 1 pound per week if you wanted. But at 2 pounds per week, what do we have? About 13 weeks or so. 13 times 2 is 26 pounds. Yeah, so 13. And the first 4 weeks, we'll take that, is about 17 weeks. All right, now we have a plan. You can mark that on the calendar. Literally 17 weeks. We usually start plans on a Monday, myself and my clients. So on Monday, we're beginning. Mark out 17 weeks. That's our goal. Each week, I'm going to tell you exactly where you should be, and we're going to work towards that goal. Some weeks you'll lose 2.5 pounds. Some weeks you'll lose 1.5, but we want to average 2. That's our goal, and we're going to work towards that. We're not going to do too much in the beginning, honestly. We're going to do more as we need to. As we start to plateau, we're going to add a little bit more and a little bit more. We're not going to make things complicated. So that's what we do. Now we have a real plan, right? We've got a real plan because we have a real goal. Want to lose weight? Well, okay, well, maybe try this, right? That's not going to work. It's not going to cut it. So we need to set real goals to accomplish, and we have to have real goals to accomplish a real plan, right? Because we need to set the plan based on the goal. Next thing is this. I do not a lot, but a little bit of mentoring with practitioners, doctors, IHPs, etc. And they'll say to me, I want to become a health practitioner. I want to be a top IHP, a top health coach. I say, great, good. Who are you going to work with? I want to work with all clients. Okay. Well, again, not a goal. I want to lose weight. How much weight? I don't know. Right? I want to work with clients. Well, which clients do you want to work with? Yes, you can work with all of them. You are taught as an integrative health practitioner how to help all people. There's no doubt about that, because you're going to move from guesswork to at-home lab testing to then looking at the deficiencies and toxicities. Yes, you can help everyone. But remember, if you just say, like, I help everybody, then you're not going to attract anyone, right? Like, you need to actually say, I'm going to help these people, this group of people. And then what are you going to do? You're going to teach people how to get well in that particular area. If it's type 2 diabetes, you're going to teach people about healthy blood sugar, continuous glucose monitors, differences between simple and complex carbs, differences between eating an apple and drinking apple juice, differences in meal timing, using intermittent fasting. You've got a lot of topics to talk about. And then people are going to say, like, oh, this person, they know what they're talking about. I would like to work with this person to get these specific results, right? And yes, you can work with everybody and you're going to get lots of referrals and it's going to be great. But in the beginning, you at least have to speak to one group of people so they know that you can help them. I do the same, again, for, let's say, big businesses, big companies, health-based companies, only companies that I believe in. One of the companies that I work with is a wearable health tech. I love health tech. And they are in startup mode. They're looking to revolutionize heart rate variability. I am a person who very much likes to look at HRV, heart rate variability, right? So the reason I like that is a symptom or a sign of recovery. If it's lower one day, okay, not so bad. If it's lower for a few days in a row, we got something going on inside the body. The body's strained. Why is it strained? What's going on? I like to look at those things. But I asked this company, well, there's a lot of people doing HRV out there. Who are you targeting. Like, who do you want to work with? I want to work with everybody. Okay. Again, same thing. We can't work with everybody. Maybe let's use this for this group first, and then it will start to get more adoption because it's a great product. It serve a lot of people, but not quite there yet, right? Even for myself, I'll tell you this, and this isn't an excuse at all, because it's not like I'm not, trying and out there working, but there's a health coaching system that I would like to create. And on paper, it's there. I know exactly what I'm looking to achieve. I really do. I know how I want to work with people to run them through this program at a low cost. Because right now, if you're working with myself, it's a little bit more expensive, and I understand that. How can we work with more people? How can we help more people? Well, of course, we have the at-home lab testing. It comes with a personalized plan, all of that. But how do we get even more accountability? How do we get even more community? So I have that laid out, but sometimes it's all in the season that you're in as well. Don't use that as an excuse if you need to achieve it right away. I don't need to achieve this right away. I want to, but I'm waiting on just that next level of software integration, which is almost there. Some of these things just take time. They take investment. They take all these things, but I'm excited about that. But very specific, I have to get very clear on what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to help these people at a fraction of the cost to be able to get this, and this. So excited about that. And that time will come. And of course, I'll share that. Just one more personal, and because again, just to show you that sometimes goals take a little bit of time. So I started to get back more into endurance-based training. And I was shocked at how slow I was. Like, unbelievably slow. And I'm not afraid to admit that. Dude, it doesn't even make sense slow. Like, it really doesn't. Because I haven't lost my strength. So I can still lift weights. I can still do all those things. But endurance-based training, since I haven't really been training it, fell off a cliff. And so I have a goal of competing in this particular endurance race. No particular reason, except I want to achieve that goal. I want to be able to be the type of person and have the endurance to be able to achieve that. Something that someone with Addison's disease and autoimmune issues like I used to have should never be able to do. I want to be able to see if it is possible. And it was, I didn't get to it 10 years ago, right? I had a little bit going on then as well. But what I realized is where I'm at in my plan right now, I need to give myself more time. So I had the same goal, but I had to extend the time horizon to be realistic. So for me, it's kind of crazy, and it might seem crazy to you, but the goal is 18 months. For me, it's no longer 6 months from now. It's 18 months from now. I thought I'd be ready in literally 6 months, but it's not the case. And so what I want to share with you is that if it's important enough, then it's important enough to set a specific goal, to then be able to lay out a detailed plan, and then to work the plan. And the nice thing is, when it's something that you truly want to achieve, then it just becomes part of the process, part of the journey. I know myself, over these next 18 months, there's going to be highs and lows. I'm going to try to beat the 18 months. I'm going to try to be ready for it sooner, but I'm also willing to enjoy the process. I know that I have the rest of my life, if I'd like, to be able to achieve this. However, I want to stick to the plan. And the plan now is no longer to compete in 6 months from now. It's to complete in 18 months from now, because the event is only once a year. So as I said before, set your goal, make it specific, and then begin to reverse engineer and work backwards. If you're able to do that, there's nothing that you can't achieve in your life. And I mean that, because there's a plan to achieve everything. There really is. There's a coach, there's a doctor, there's a practitioner, there's a course for everything. So know what you want to achieve, be specific, crystal clear, visualize it, put it up on the wall, mark it on the calendar, begin to implement daily. You'll get there, no doubt about it. Thanks everybody for tuning into today's Cabral Concept. I appreciate you. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new show. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.